Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Saturdays with Tara Hangout on Air. I'm Mary Beth at the Law of Attraction Club, and we're on the web at theloaclub.com. On these Hangouts, we collaborate with our friends Tara. This Hangout is the summary of our theme for the week and continues on our member conference line with live Q&A. Today's topic, we're continuing Chapter 9, Questions and Answers. This one is, what about the other cosmic laws? Let's debunk some myths. You can get invites to our open calls, which we offer periodically, and our free letting go process by going to theloaclub.com. So now we're going to hand the call over to Robin and Tara.
From Abraham. Everything that you perceive here in your physical environment is vibration. And the life you are living is your vibrational interpretation. The powerful law of attraction is at the root of everything you experience. And the stable, never changing, always accurate premise of this law is, that which is like unto itself is drawn. When you give thought to something, you begin the attraction process of the essence of that subject into your own life experience. Once you have activated a thought vibration within yourself by giving your attention to the subject, the progression of expansion occurs. We welcome the opportunity to address this question about cosmic laws, because it gives us a chance to reaffirm the fundamental nature of who you are and the power that you have. Let's look at some common myths about the law of attraction. Myth number 1. It's just one of many other cosmic, ancient, universal, etc. laws. Myth number 2. It responds to my now conscious energy, focus, and attention. Myth number 3. It takes time to create things. There's an inbuilt manifestational lag. Myth number 4. It works more powerfully when many people focus together. Myth number 5. It doesn't take away the need for action. It is hard work. Myth number 6. It takes a lot of internal work to master. As we head into discussing some of these popular misconceptions, we'll be exploring with you once again the fundamental way in which everything works, including the law of attraction. Is it important to know all of this? Not necessarily. You can always choose to reach for that better feeling thought, and if you do, you'll do very well. But it helps you to make that choice. Do you need to know how electricity works to use your toaster? No, and yet some knowledge is helpful. If it's not working, it's useful to know about the need to plug it in and into an outlet that has power, which means there needs to be power coming to the houses in your neighborhood. And so the story goes on. Knowing the basics of how things work helps you navigate your world. Now, does knowing the fundamentals of life and the law of attraction mean you'll be instantly creating everything you want? Once again, no. Knowing these things intellectually doesn't necessarily translate into instant change to that deep-seated tapestry of expectations that is the blueprint for your creation. But it helps. And it helps in 2 ways. Firstly, with confidence. If you know you're on the right track, it's easier to keep your focus on what counts. And secondly, It gives you a basis for answering all your many and varied questions about life without being distracted by the stories that even many so-called gurus are inventing or repeating. Many of you think of the law of attraction in this way, that you attract into your experience things that are a match to your vibration, and that your vibration is a function of how you think, and that how you think is a choice, and that therefore you can influence the events in your world by how you choose to think. And we would say all of that is, of course, true. But it's not a complete explanation, and it does not give you adequate answers to the questions, how much can I change, and how do I make a change? We have to go a whole lot deeper. We say the truth is simple. We call it our theory of everything. There are some things you cannot change and some things you can. You cannot change what we call the absolutes, which describe the fundamental nature of who you are. But everything beyond those absolutes, physical or non-physical, is yours to decide. Absolute number one. You exist timelessly in the realm of thought or awareness. You're an always connected extension of the collective consciousness of all that is. Absolute number two. Your desires and belief choices create the individuation that is you and the matching context you perceive around you. As you change your desires and belief choices, you and your context change. So you're not a human being. You're a timeless consciousness. Can you see that contained within absolute number two is what is known as the law of attraction? What you choose to believe defines who and what you are and what matching context you find yourself in. Your belief choices define all the circumstances of that world around you. What you choose to believe consciously gets internalized subconsciously and becomes your so-called reality. What you choose to believe becomes. Some would have you believe that there are 7 or 12 or 100 other cosmic laws that you need to understand. But all those so-called cosmic laws either derive from it or are simply belief choices somebody made. So, it's perfectly okay if you choose to believe in angels, in archangels and guardian angels, in ascended masters and a hierarchy of celestial beings, in reincarnation and in old souls and young souls, in an all-powerful God and a devil, in sin and salvation, in heaven and hell, in sacred geometry, in Akashic records, or in astral travel, or in astrology, or tarot cards, or reading palms or tea leaves, in other habitable planets and UFOs and extraterrestrial visitors. Are you beginning to see why we say calling it the law of attraction hardly does justice to the fundamental alignment that defines everything, everywhere, in every realm that exists, be it yours or ours? This law is the foundation on which everything is built. All other laws or principles that have any validity to them are, by definition, simply derivations of the law of attraction. And the extra laws or sub-laws proposed are simply extrapolations of physical properties into non-physical principles. Now let's look at myth number 2 on our list, that the law of attraction responds to my now conscious focus. The old simple definition of the law was you attract into your experience, wanted or unwanted, that which you give your energy, focus, and attention. Once again, it's good as far as it goes. But when you woke up this morning, this moment-by-moment creation of yours, your world with its time and gravity and shapes and spaces, was there instantly, without, we suggest, much focus or attention. The secret is that what defines you and your world, what brings everything into your experience, is that expectation tapestry stored in your subconscious. Most of it, of course, you can never bring into that foreground consciousness of yours, but you can. Creating what you want is all about changing that tapestry. It starts with your conscious choices. Everything that's there came from your previous conscious choices. Changing it starts with new and different conscious choices, and then making those new and different choices with sufficient focus and energy that they replace and change the fabric you want to change. It's perfectly okay if you choose to believe in the law of attraction. And it's perfectly okay if you want only the simple version, that your thoughts create your reality, and for as long as you choose thoughts that feel good, you're heading in the direction of what you want. But if you wanting to really comprehend the true nature of who you are, to have a foundational understanding about everything, you cannot get there if you start from a flawed premise. That any of those things listed above are somehow external to you and beyond your control. If you start from that place, your puzzle is always going to be missing some key pieces, and your answers always end up in a tangle of maybes. Let's look at myth number 3. Creating takes time because there's a manifestational lag. When Abraham coined those words, they were using simple language to explain why your focus right now on something does not necessarily manifest it immediately in your experience. However, they were not saying that there's some sort of celestial timer that gets invoked whenever you make a new belief choice. There is no fundamental delay. They go on to say at great length that you have to line up with your choice. And it's that lining up that sometimes takes a little time. When you're in alignment, manifestation is immediate. You create the consciousness that is you and the matching context that always accompanies you, instant by instant, like the frames of a movie, from that huge tapestry of expectations you have that's been created by your previous belief choices about everything, including, of course, those things we listed above. When you make a new conscious choice, it is often the case that what you believe consciously does not match what you believe subconsciously. Let's give you a simple example about what we mean by lining up at all levels. As we often suggest, try moving something you use a lot. Your hand towel in the kitchen or that waste paper basket in your office from the left side to the right. Consciously, you know where it is. It's in the new location on the right. If we asked you, you could tell us. But what do you know subconsciously? As you'll find out the next time you go to use it, it knows still that it's on the left. And depending on the importance of getting it right, which means how much focus you give it, and depending on how often you use it, which means how much you practice it, over the next few days or weeks or months, your subconscious learns the new location, and then you're in alignment. Let's look at myth number 4. The law of attraction works more powerfully when many people focus together. If you start from the premise, as we said before, that the world is out there, and let's say your goal is world peace or saving the planet, then it's entirely reasonable that you would put your energy into reaching as many people as you can. You need to create a groundswell of popular opinion. You'll be doing things like joining or organizing groups that see things as you do. You'll be into coordinated days of meditation or prayer and healing energy. You'll be writing and calling and painting pictures to inspire breakthroughs in world thinking. And there's not a single thing wrong with any of that. If it feels good, go for it. The simple truth, however, is to achieve that goal, or any goal, it is not necessary for you to do anything. You do not have to reach out to millions and attempt to persuade them. You need only to choose to expect to step into a different version of the world, and you will. So, do we mean no action at all? The key is what feels good. If you do stuff and it feels good, then what you are actually doing is creating that tapestry of yours in alignment with the way you want things to be. Now, in a physical world, of course, you're all doing creatures. But the doing needs not to be done from some desperate or must-do place. If you're overwhelmed or sad or angry about things, stop. You're heading in the wrong direction. From Bentinho Massaro. Law of attraction in its deepest sense is you wanting to experience yourself. That's the impulse. That's how you're born, not just physically born, but individuated. Before you were born, you were individuated, and this life is a further crystallization of that individualization process of consciousness, of you emerging from the all that is consciousness. Law of attraction means that whatever you're the vibration of is what you'll attract into your life, is what you'll experience yourself as. This is all a soup of energy. This is a structure of energy that's held up by you. You, of course, are the one that's attracted those others into your world. And they will appear in your virtual reality within the boundaries of what you've chosen as possible. But the essence of that quote lies in these words. Unless their opinion affects your opinion, their opinion matters not at all. In other words, it's you who chooses, consciously or unconsciously, what to do with those opinions. You can put them in your probability bucket or your certainty bucket, or you can discard them into your impossibility bucket. The opinions of a million others are of no consequence because it's those choices of yours that rule the day. Those others are the actors in your movie, and they're all faithfully following the screenplay you're handing out. So now we've segued into myth number 5. Creating still needs action. And by action, most of you mean hard work. It does not. If you're in alignment, no action is necessary. If you are not in alignment, your cause is lost before you start. There's not enough potential action in the universe to bring about something against the pull of the most powerful creative force that exists, your beliefs. Because it is your beliefs that create everything in your world. When you're in alignment, doors appear before you that you never even knew the existence of, and they will open at your touch. And, of course, you're in a space-time world, a doing world. And as you step through those doors, you will do stuff, but it will not be work. It will be joyfully easy. You will be flowing downstream with the current. And lastly, myth number 6. All of this takes time to master. In other words, even after you've made the mental switch from it's an out there world to it's an all inside job, which it is, and to knowing how to create what you want, you're still going to have to put time and energy into getting to the place of mastery, of consistently being able to put that knowledge into practice. Well, perhaps not. You're creating it all, remember? So how would you choose it to be from now on? It's not just the goal that's yours to choose. It's also up to you to choose the path. Do you want to beat through the underbrush, or do you want to take the yellow brick road? We say, take the road. Now, we also know that having seemingly spent a lifetime without recognizing who you are, that getting into the groove with this takes a refocus. You need to build a new and ongoing, ever-present awareness in order to settle comfortably into playing this game as you came here to play it, as a conscious creator. But we also know that this last myth is insidious. And so we say, if you will just recognize that the shape and style and difficulty of the journey is just as much your choice as is the destination you are seeking. And if you will start by choosing to believe that this will be easy for you, then it will be easy. There is nothing you cannot be, do, or have. And both the destination and the journey are included in that. You could choose life to be easy. And if you do, it will show up like a flow of serendipitous miracles. We say, choose easy. After all, why are you here? You're not here to serve God. You're not here to fulfill some preordained purpose. You're not here to serve others. You're not here to save the world. You could choose to believe any of those, of course. That's up to you. But when you strip away the optional details and step outside of the story, only one fundamental thing remains. You're here to experience different aspects of yourself and the joy of creating in this powerfully focused space-time context. And the only thing that limits your choices is your imagination, and that has no limits. You get to choose. whether that delivery you ordered shows up on time. You get to choose whether that meeting tomorrow is joyful and productive. You get to choose which version of your loved ones shows up in your experience. You get to choose who wins the election, whether you vote or not. You get to choose whether it's a flat earth or a round earth. You get to choose which myths are true or false. What you believe becomes. You get to choose whether life is hard and struggle is necessary. Can you see that when you start from halfway into a story, that story becomes the box you have to live within? If you start from there, you've already closed off many of your options, and you're trying to answer life's big questions from a place where no simple answers are possible. We say start from your origins. When you start your journey from the absolutes of who you are, then and only then can you step in any direction you want to go.
This Hangout on Air was a summary of our theme for the week. We do 3 live calls a week with Q&A for our members on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. You can become a member by going to theloaclub.com/join. So now our longer discussion continues with Q&A on our member conference line. Back over